Hey there, listeners and queer love muffins. Welcome back to Jeremy Spreads It, the podcast where in season 2, it's all about LGBTQIA plus dating, love, and relationships. I'm your host, Jeremy Spreadums, and honey, today we'll be talking about the sexy, spicy, and sometimes funky world of embracing diversity in our community, not just our community, but beyond. What we're specifically going to be covering today is just understanding your own and potential or real partner's cultural differences, and on the differences in communication styles that vary depending on what culture you're from. All right, so let's get into this. Now, picture this: if you are dating somebody who is from a different culture than your own and are falling for them, and they're amazing, the banter is hot, the chemistry hotter, and you finally get to meet their family. And in your culture, you typically go in for hugs, but suddenly this family is bowing to you. In your culture, you offer a handshake for a hello, and this family backs away. And in this situation, you probably just freeze, and in your mind, you're like, what the hell am I doing with my limbs? You kind of go into panic mode if you have been through that situation, and if not, God bless you. I have definitely gone through that situation. Being a Mexican, I've dated individuals from many different cultural backgrounds, and if you have dated me, you know that I'm pretty loud and direct and very dramatic and expressive, and it pertains to my cultural upbringing. But also, I have to blame pop icons and TV shows growing up. But anyway, most of my cultural upbringing is Mexican, and I bring that with me wherever I go. Even though I grew up in the United States, I have a mixture of different cultural beliefs and practices and things that I may not even realize that are part of me that my culture has huge influence on. And it also has a big influence on you, wherever you're from. Cultural differences go beyond food preferences and holidays. In LGBTQIA plus relationships, they definitely shape how we express our love, show respect to each other, and define what a partnership is. One culture might have a dozen gender identities already backed up into their language. I mean, it's been happening for a long time in many cultures. And others might still be pretending that queerness is a disease that you pick up by going to too many Lady Gaga concerts. I don't know. Many people get crazy ideas. And every culture also approaches love, gender, and relationships differently. Some cultures glorify grand romantic gestures, and others prioritize humility and quiet endurance. Additionally, some of us in the LGBTQIA plus community are fortunate to have families that love waving rainbow flags at brunch and going with us out and about and supporting who we are as individuals. While there are others in the community who may have dysfunctional or non-existent relationships with their families and who may still be trying to figure out if this queerness thing and coming out is a prank. So many of them just downright avoid these topics. So it's good to know your own culture as well as your potential partners or real partners' culture. And to navigate how to better understand multicultural queer relationships, you can stay curious. Ask questions about your partner's background and how their culture views love, gender, and queerness. Do some research on your own culture as well. Just be open-minded and just be open to being awkward and messing up, because you're definitely going to mess up together, and it's okay. You can laugh together too. You can create your own hybrid love culture. Mix both of your cultures together, baby, and bring both of your traditions together. Make new ones together. And if their family isn't ready for the full story, or if your family is not ready for the full story, just remember to support each other's pacing, but don't erase your identities in the process. Okay? Multicultural love is about more than compromise. It's about creating something brand new together, a delicious mashup of rituals, language, and queer joy, honey. Alrighty, let's move on to communication styles. Depending on which culture you're from, communication is going to be different. So let's break it down. There are two main types of communication and communicators: direct communication and communicators, and indirect communication and communicators. Now, cultures like Germany and the Netherlands and most of the United States, they are direct communicators. These individuals value clear, concise communication. And if they don't like something, they're definitely going to tell you. If they have feedback, you're definitely going to hear it. And if your outfit doesn't match, oh, honey, you will know. You will. Now, when it comes to indirect communication and communicators, these individuals may be either brought up by a culture or maybe from cultures of the Latin Americas, Japan, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, typically. And indirect communicators prefer nuance and subtlety as a way to maintain social harmony. Indirect communicators may express disagreement through their tone, hesitation, or meaningful silence. For example, if you are a direct communicator and you ask your partner, who is an indirect communicator, hey, do you want to go to that poetry slam tonight? Their response may be, that sounds interesting. Which could actually mean, please don't make me do this. And in comparison, an example of somebody who comes from a culture that prefers direct communication, if you ask them the same question, like, hey, babe, do you want to go to that poetry slam tonight? They might say something like, hell no, spoken words give me some trauma from high school. Let's get noodles instead. So the difference is very clear. Now, to make it work, if you are someone who prefers direct communication and your partner is somebody who prefers indirect communication, one thing you should consider is not to bulldoze them with too much information and to soften the delivery of your message to them. And if you'd like to understand what they're trying to communicate back at you, a good idea would be to watch their body language and their vibe as key indicators to know what's going on underneath. Now, if you are an indirect communicator and your partner is a direct communicator, things you can try to make it work is to say what you mean, at least in key moments, But saying what you mean is going to at least let your partner understand the minimum what's going on. Because if your partner is a direct communicator and you're an indirect communicator, they are not mind readers. Nobody is, no matter how clairvoyant they are. Okay? And for both parties, clarity is important. Repeat the message back if needed to each other and use gentle check-ins like, hey, when you said that sounded interesting, was that a yes? And make space for communication rituals that work for the two of you or all of you if you're in a relationship with more than two people involved. A weekly check-in and reminder to each other that you're each different individuals and that you're coming together to understand how to love each other better would be amazing. And not that hard to do, honestly. So, cultural differences can also impact the way you fight. Yes, some cultures argue like it's a family sport, while others act like emotions don't exist. And what you can do if you are in a multicultural relationship is ask your partner if conflict arises, if you need space to process, or if they'd like to talk it out immediately. A good strategy, honestly, before conflict arises or even after you have conflict, is to talk about how you fight. Like normalizing phrases such as, hey, how do you usually deal with conflict? Or ask something like, if something bugs you, how do you like to be approached? And really pay attention to this and honestly follow through. Because in multicultural queer love, understanding when I don't need anything actually means I need ice cream, space, and validation in that order. It is a superpower that all of us have the ability to hone and use and supercharge. So, there you have it, my gorgeous queer lovers. Cultural differences and communication clashes don't have to be deal breakers if you are involved in multicultural relationships or plan to be. Let's expand our worlds. Geez, everything's a melting pot nowadays. Embrace it. But in reality, by expanding your understanding of different cultures and communication styles with others in the community and beyond, it is so beneficial for your personal growth. You expand your ability for personal growth, to deepen your love, to grow your empathy, and laugh your way through the chaos together, because we're all here together in the LGBTQIA plus community, especially the damn T's. Okay? Shout out to the T's. So remember, love isn't about being the same. It's about building bridges, not barriers, and understanding each other's differences. So until next time, be bold, be open, and always spread queer information wisely. Bye, Felicia.